Listen to the Voice of Survival podcast every other Friday, right here on the Journey into Comics Network. JourneyIntoComics.com.
The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
We're gonna fuck the sodomites in the...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Podcastrophe, episode 17. And this is the first podcast episode after Christmas. And I hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, some happy holidays. I hope you all were jolly and had a really good time. I had a good Christmas weekend. Spent a lot of time with family. Spent a lot of time with my girlfriend, Miranda. My only complaint, literally the only complaint I had about my Christmas weekend was I didn't get to watch A Christmas Story.
Same. I did not see this is probably the first year in my 30 years of existence that I did not watch A Christmas Story during Christmas.
It bums me out. It bummed me out. Please welcome to the show, Nate Phillips.
Hey, how's it going?
Did you have a good Christmas?
You know what? This Christmas is winning. It was weird because I literally broke the bank and got as much as I could for whoever I could, And and that's how Christmas is, in the Christmas spirit. I'm going to spend all this money on someone else and hope that other people spend a little money on me.
Yeah.
And I actually want to talk about that today too, because I feel like
definitely.
I feel like the Christmas spirit is so dead, and maybe I'm feeling that this year because I didn't watch A Christmas Story, but it was busy, lots of Christmas stuff going on, lots of baking and making things, and had the PlayStation 3 death that happened that I think I talked about on some podcast I did. I don't remember.
One of the many.
But it was one of those things that this year I wasn't expecting a whole lot. And then everything just fell into place beautifully. I got the Stranger Things VHS collector's Blu-ray set.
Ooh.
Oh, it's amazing.
Ooh.
It's so awesome.
I just watched the Stranger Things bad lip reading today.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
It's 18 minutes long,
Holy.
And it is fucking hilarious.
Wow. Is it just through season 1 or is it?
Yeah, it's just season 1.
Okay.
So I can't wait for season 2.
Huh, that's
bad lip reading.
But it was weird because this Christmas I got a bunch of the Marvel Cinematic Universe Blu-rays. I'm missing 6. I actually got a duplicate.
Oh.
Which was Spider-Man.
Oh, fun.
Which is great because the Spider-Man I initially got is in my dead PS3 that I can't get out. So it worked out beautifully. I was like, yes! I still get to watch Spidey. Of course, I did watch Spider-Man immediately after. But no, overall, great Christmas. What about you? Did you you said you only had one complaint, but any cool shit you got?
I got to Christmas weekend. We did episode 18, which is Drunkastrophe. This was live streamed, much like this.
Ooh, that's the feature week show.
Yes, it will be featured. Is that next week? Oh wow, that's next week, guys.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's kind of cool recording this episode, an episode the day before it airs, because everything's very current and I don't have to account for a 2-week thing
or time travel.
Yeah,
it's weird.
So next week is Podbean's feature week for the Journey into Comics Network, and then the week after that is the Game Addicts feature week. So everybody, please just go ahead and tune into that. It's going to be a blast. All the shows are going to be putting forth their best effort. I mean, not that we don't always, but we're really bringing the thunder.
Yeah, this is it's weird because when we found out we had the feature and it was the first week of January, and it so happens that the day January 1st is Monday, coinciding with Journey into Comics, we just thought let's go for broke and maybe try things we've never tried before, or really bring our, like you said, we always bring our best effort. However, there's extra stakes on the table, makes you elevate your game a little bit. And I think that's good because it gives us a reason to elevate our game, and we don't become stagnant and just like complacent with the same style of podcast over and over again. So it's going to be really like genuinely fantastic during Feature Week. We're going to be sharing a lot of stuff. We're recording a lot of Feature Week, I think, tomorrow.
Oh, joy.
Is how that's going to play out. But anyways, what do you I don't know if I want to like steal your spotlight with your podcast here, but I do want to know, because we were just on the topic of Christmas, is the Christmas spirit and the holiday spirit dead?
I think a lot of people like have lost sight of what it really is. However, I think with the people in my life, I've managed to really surround myself with good, genuine people. So in my life, it's not lost. We have really good people that just enjoy being around each other and enjoying each other's company. And so, which I think that's what the Christmas spirit really is just being grateful for the people in your life and enjoying each other's presence, you know?
I totally feel you. The reason I brought this up is because I was thinking about it, and we become so desensitized to Christmas. Think about how early you're getting Christmas ads and stores putting up Christmas stuff. Like, it's October.
Yeah.
Literally, Halloween's not even over, and they're already trying to push Christmas.
I saw
on
stuff
everybody.
in September this year.
Whoa, that's a little too much.
It is.
It kind of dawned on me that I didn't feel... It's not like I feel bah humbug Grinchy type deal there, but it was just like what I knew as a kid and my excitement for Christmas and spending time with your family, but then like there was like everybody was doing that, and there was a general community, and everyone was friendlier to each other. And I feel like now with consumerism, there's so many like monsters in the world, like people who are just evil during Christmas. You know, I'm trying to get this fucking cool toy for my kid, and this little girl has it in her hand. I'm gonna take it from the little girl. Fuck you.
That's the greediness in human nature. I don't like it.
Yeah, but I think it's just rubbed Christmas the wrong way.
It really has.
Mixed with like I said, the fact that you have so many places putting out holiday stuff so early. It's like, let us just enjoy. Like, Christmas was special because it wasn't Christmas until like a couple days before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Christmas is almost here. But now it's like October 31st. Why do I see a fucking Christmas tree in Menards? Stop it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, knock that shit off. That's all I have for that anyways.
Yeah, okay, so I guess the other complaint, and this is more like I'm growing up and starting to adult more complaint rather than actually about Christmas, but I am so tired of traveling. And I say this to you as you just made a 2-hour trip down here, so sorry.
You don't have to apologize to me. I love traveling.
No, like I have a lot of family out of town, and I'm not really big on the whole extended family thing. Like, cool if I see you, but I'm more close family. Could care less about the extended family. No offense to those watching if you do watch.
I love how you just are like, fuck you, family who I
but
don't
like
ever
no,
see.
like I don't see you guys, and you guys haven't really been that
It's
giant
not like
of an
there's-
impact of my life.
Exactly. It's not like there's a camaraderie there that you've had where it's like your cousins that you played with every summer are not the cousins that live in Georgia that you saw once in your life.
Mm-hmm. But like when I say close family, I mean like my mom, my dad, my grandparents, and my uncles within the between my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Like not my my grandma's sister and then her kids. Those are basically those are cousins. So just on down the pipeline, it never ends. But no, like I had to. So I live in Lafayette, Indiana. My girlfriend in Frankfurt. So if she's tagging along, which she did, which I love her for that. She goes and puts up with all my bullshit. I had to go pick her and her kids up and then drive 2 towns away, go through Delphi, go to Monticello, go drive back through Delphi, back to Frankfurt, back to Lafayette, and then do it all over again another day. It was exhausting. That driving.
Welcome to male adulting, at least in my experience.
And that's fine. That's fine.
I drive so much. I was just telling Veronica the other day, Like, if I could quantify the amount of miles I've put on my body in driving form, I'm not talking about flights because that's a little extraneous, but just driving, I've probably put like a good 300, 400,000 miles on my body. You know, just make 9-hour trips, 10-hour trips, doing this, doing that, going to see my dad every couple days or whatever, 2-hour drive one way, 2-hour drive back, coming to Lafayette, doing band shows, going to fucking Michigan, going to Chicago or Milwaukee or wherever the fuck. So the driving thing, it's almost like I'm numb to it now. You know, I just tune out, listen to a podcast, and escape. And it's weird because I used to listen to music, but I think it made me drive way more aggressively. And I was like, I don't want to get pulled over, so I'm just gonna.
It's really bad. My travel listening is almost strictly podcasts, and I bet it drives my girlfriend crazy. But because she has no idea what, like, the only time she's okay listening is if it's like one of like your podcast, you or Brandon's podcast, because she's familiar with you guys now.
Oh,
but like
all this liked our voice. Damn.
Oh, no. But I'll listen to like the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'll listen to Kind of Funny or Off Topic or something like that. And they mostly talk about like not Kind of Funny, but Rooster Teeth. They mostly talk about stuff within their own company, like happenings around the Rooster Teeth community, like whether it has something to do with one of the shows they do or just internal like inside jokes and funny stuff. But you know, I've been part of that community for probably 15 years now.
Yeah, before you were podcasting even,
So, like, I'm familiar with them, and I actually get all the jokes, and I feel like I know those people, because I've been with them for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. They're like people, it's weird, because with radio, and it's funny, we were talking about this off-air earlier, the whole, spoiler alert, there's a reference to something I'm familiar with that comes in Drunkastrophe, the Ellis show. Right, Linder talked about it.
Actually, he didn't talk about that until after we were done
Really?
recording.
Oh.
Yeah, the live stream kept going for another 2-3 minutes.
Well, it was really interesting because I was watching the live stream, and somebody had said that they found your show through. I had posted an Ellis Fam a live stream.
I think his name was Travis Anderson.
Okay, cool.
Shout out.
Yeah, but it was weird because I just. If you're doing a Podcastrophe episode, I post it in places where I think people will like it, and I did that on Ellis thinking, well, maybe some Ellis fam will come check it out, and they're not going to know Podcastrophe, and that's okay, because they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it was weird to hear Linder bring that up, like, of course it was off air, but because it's just, the Ellis fam and stuff has had such a huge impact with me, and it was cool to see it kind of like brush off to you guys.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I really enjoyed hearing Dave Linder and company just repeatedly drunkenly yell Red Dragons over and over again.
Yes, amazing. That's
it was great.
Yeah, that's a part of the culture with Ellis fam and Red Dragons and being a wolf knife, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with that. It's like almost a different part of me, you know. In 2009 or 10, Sarah bought her car. It came with Sirius. Mm-hmm. Jason Ellis' show is on Sirius, and man, that early stuff is what got me wanting to even do my own show before I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, I want to be in fucking radio. Like, I'll fucking be the king of radio, you know? And it is difficult, and it's real, but that, just listening to Ellis, like, really pour his heart out about real shit that was happening. This is before he kind of got macho big time.
Yeah.
And of course he's been through therapy and is a different person now, so that's a whole different story. But during those times I made a lot of friends and a lot of people throughout the country that I have a lot in common with, and they're Ellis fam. And we have bonds that go beyond speaking. We don't need to talk to each other for months on end, and we do crazy shit for each other. And Ellis fam, someone who I'm really close with, this guy named Dylan, was at our last show. He just showed up.
Oh, awesome.
He's like, hey, I'm coming in. I'm going to be at your show.
How far away did he travel?
He was only about 40 minutes away because he moved to Chicago recently, but he had lived in like England and Georgia and fucking St. Louis, and we had always tried to link up. I think we linked up once last year. And he was like, I'm definitely coming to your guys' show on the 16th. And he did, and it was awesome to see him. So it's really cool to just have like a constant reminder of the great times of Ellis fam and Ellis community and doing the Ellis Mania events. I think you would have great fun going to an Ellis Mania.
Oh yeah, event. You know me, I'm generally down to do basically anything.
At Ellis Mania, they have crazy ass fights. So they have like the electric dog collar fight, where 4 dudes are in the ring and they're blindfolded and they have electric dog collars on their necks and they're getting shocked at 11 by judges who are just sitting there shocking the shit out of them while they can't see and they're trying to punch other competitors. Gets pretty interesting. Or the musical chairs fight. There's a bunch of chairs in the ring. The music's going. A bunch of dudes are going around the ring. The two dudes who don't get seats fight. Whoever's last standing wins. Like, they do crazy matches, you know. So that's just I'm just rambling now about Ellis Fam, but it was a fun time in my life, so I do like reflecting on that.
Yeah, speaking of like the radio stuff and podcasting in general, you invited me to a few groups a few months ago, and because of that, like, I got to know a little bit more about the podcasting world. It's afforded me opportunities to I'm not gonna lie, I haven't checked out any of their podcasts at all. Because I have a whole network of podcasts that I listen to, and it's called the Journey into Comics Network, and I need to stay up to date on that, on top of the couple other podcasts I listen to. So with that being said, like, I don't have really a lot of time for other podcasts, but no, like, I got to see like all the different types of podcasts. Like, I didn't know true crime podcasting was a thing.
There are too many fucking true crime podcasts.
I didn't know there were scripted podcasts. Like, what?
Yeah,
what?
Dramas. Well, it's weird because I think that technically speaking, audio dramas exist before and have always existed before podcasts.
Yeah.
And the idea of turning an audio drama into a podcast is just like a new place to share something that they already do.
And I'm not knocking it whatsoever.
Oh no, I know you're not.
I mean, speaking of audio dramas, wasn't it Orson Welles' broadcast of the War of the Worlds?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. I love that whole story. How like people were freaking out thinking it was real. But anyway, so I've been on these groups for a minute. There's a Podcasting Smarter group. There's the Podcasters Hangout group. Those are cool. Then there's the Podcast We Listen To group, which I think was the first one I joined. And I've had a struggle with that group for a minute. Not with the community, which I will. So
please
today,
break it down. All right, yes.
Today, just a few short hours ago, I saw a post in the community from one of the admins, I'm assuming. Yes, it was. And the admin was complaining about people posting within the group saying, I don't know if this is against the rules, but if you want, just delete it anyways. And he was complaining about people that do that, saying just read the rules or contact one of us and ask us. And I was like, my only comment was, okay, some people have anxiety and they get anxiety about messaging people directly.
Me too.
Yeah, I get that all the time. And the post went on. I screenshotted most of it. Let's see. It said just read the rules. If it follows them, if you're wrong and it's not okay or some gray area, the admin will tell you. And I said it just seems like a senseless thing to bitch about, in my opinion. And then one of the admins, Deanna, said if you were an admin and had to deal with these every day and 90% of them aren't okay, you'd bitch too.
Then don't be an admin.
Yeah. Basically, I'm tired. I got very tired of this, of the admins of this group just... So someone else said, so your logic is, this makes me slightly uncomfortable, so since my feelings are more important than the admins, I'll just go ahead and saddle them with stress. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's
not going to name you, but fuck you. And my final reply to this before I left the group, which I'll get to that in a sec. I'll get to me leaving the group in a second. I said, no, I'm just saying that could explain why so many people don't just message the admin. Not that I'm a huge proponent for the fragile, I have anxiety and can't do anything because of it lifestyle. But anxiety makes people do weird things and makes shit like communicating to someone very difficult. I went on to say, I'm probably about to leave this community. Will I be missed? Nah. Have fun, guys. I just can't be part of such a cunty community anymore. My podcast isn't about how many views, fans, listens I can get. It's about conversation and fun with my friends. So, enjoy. First, I would like to... Wow. Okay, so my dumbass. I'm looking at the screenshot, and I see the notification, and I actually
tried to click
on
it?
the
Oh, that's great.
notification.
Rookie.
So, first and foremost, I would like to apologize to the actual community of people. You guys did nothing wrong. I guess I should have said it better and said the cunty admins of the community. That's a bird towards my video feed. If any of them are watching, they can go fuck off.
Probably not. They probably won't.
No,
watch
probably
it because
not.
Here's the thing. I don't want to bash or do a bunch of like what happened to you. I think is horseshit. Because here's one thing I know about podcasts we listen to is they talk about how they want to build this great community, how there's such a large community of people. But if you're not an admin, don't advertise your shit there because it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of bogus because really it's Facebook. Yes, every community has rules, but it shouldn't be limit how you advertise to yourself because you might be in a situation where you're conversing with someone and they bring something up and your best response is, well, shit, there's actually a show on my podcast network that I'm a part of.
Which I've done.
Would be perfect for you.
Which I have done.
Exactly. And you know, I have no remorse for that. I think that we're in a day and age now where we're all motherfucking gunslingers and you have to be able to be willing to promote your shit and stand up to people who don't want you to promote your shit. Like, why are some podcasts getting so far ahead and other podcasts are doing like so much real work and actually genuinely love it and they're not getting ahead, but the people, you know what I'm saying? And that's like that with like really in any business model. Another
time I've spoken my mind and in my very blunt manner that I tend to do.
Hell yeah.
There was another admin, I guess, stating, in my opinion, bitching about people posting live feeds. And which we've done in that, and it's whatever. I kind of agreed with their point. Like, it made sense. I'm like, okay, fine. But anyway, so I got a message request, and I see it's from this Deanna. And
dun dun dun.
I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. I gotta accept this. So she says, "You're banned from podcasts we listen to. There's no need to call a successful 16K member community what you called us. Do not request membership in the future." Followed by a screenshot of my comment, like I didn't know what I said. I agree. There was no need for me to call the community of 16,000 people, who probably not 16,000 even pay attention to it.
Not anymore.
You're right, Deanna. There was no need for me to call 16,000 people cunty pieces of shit, I guess. However, fuck you and all your admins. I replied, "I left, period. That's okay, period." She replies, she continues to reply.
Oh, so
there's more.
Wow.
I sent the screenshots of this conversation and the post to the Journey into Comics group chat.
I was driving.
Nate was driving, but I said, "I left, that's okay." She comes back with, "And you won't get back in. Anxiety must not be that bad today since you're full of such strong words." I replied with, "As I said, period. That's okay, period." Like, I'm not going to feed into this.
No, you're just like shutting it down.
Yeah, I don't give I left the group. I don't give a fuck if I'm banned. I left it because I didn't want to be there. Why do I give a fuck if I'm banned? And I'm not going to come crawling back because you're a bunch of cunts.
Thank you. Yeah.
She read it and never responded. That. So, man. Good. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So, for anybody in the podcast we listen to community, I apologize for calling you cunts and that you have to put up with such cunty leadership.
Is it leadership, though?
Administration.
Are they just dictators at that point?
Administration.
You can't post that. Hey, you also can't
you can't post that. You can't say that.
You know what? And this is... let's talk about this. Here's another amazing topic I want to talk about. The gunslingers in the wild, wild west. Are we at the last stronghold of communication with podcasting where... Think about it like this, man. Podcasts, uncensored. If I want to say fuck Donald Trump right now, fuck Donald Trump. nothing happened. No one's upset with me. I can put that up tomorrow and it's not going to change anything. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like FCC regulations on, you know, just terrestrial radio and FCC regulations on television and stuff. Do you think there will ever be a time where we're going to get stuck dealing with what we can and cannot say on a podcast? And how fortunate are we to also kind of reflect that we're in a time now where we can do and say whatever the fuck we want?
I don't know. I think since this is like, yeah, it's weird because we're not a company. So I feel like we're free to say whatever we want. We don't have regulations.
Correct.
So I don't see why they would put regulations on something that's not official or whatever, you know?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
we're not licensed.
I'm just looking at the future as a whole.
Yeah, then that's mustering. That's getting rid of free speech.
Thank you. That's the point I'm bringing up.
Like, do you really think we're gonna not have a First Amendment?
It's not that we aren't going to have a First Amendment. I just don't know if we're going to have a president that abides by any of the law and order. So that's the question here, you know. And the thing I'm talking about, rules and regulations, is like that day could be coming where you get flagged if you say a certain thing, and then that show maybe doesn't hit iTunes for whatever reason, or that show gets flagged and it doesn't go to Stitcher or to Spotify or whatever. That is a very strong possibility in the future with the way things have been changing. Do I think that it's going to be in the next 5 years? No. But in the next 50, it wouldn't surprise me if there are podcast regulations coming in the future. You know,
that'll bum me out.
Especially with the possibility of net neutrality, and if that actually holds, you know.
I'm hoping it doesn't get through Congress.
No, it shouldn't. It should not get through Congress at all. That's for the poor poor.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about now?
Speaking of the poor poor, like I really enjoyed AP's episode this week. He once again talked about some Christmassy stuff, and he talked about the Santa Claus. I really enjoyed that bit about the Santa Claus movie. I
listened to it on the way down, all the way through again, because I listened to part of it as I was editing it, and like 3/4 of it, and then I was like, okay, well, I gotta edit another podcast now. So, in the list of things to do, listen to it, and I'm excited to watch the Santa Claus movies now, just to see how like accurate that concept is, that it's the scariest Christmas movie. One thing that's really interesting, we were at Sarah's family's Christmas, and they brought out the family's old toy box, right? And all the kids are grown up now, so it's like, you know, these toys are ancient, you know, or whatever. A lot of toys from my childhood, like McDonald's toys and whatnot, but there was a Subway toy in there of just a dude in like a gray sweatsuit with his hand like this, and he was still. I'm like, this is familiar. Why do I know this? So I set it aside. Looking through all the toys, we're looking through the toys, having a laugh. Oh, look at this cool thing. Haha, whatever. I find the back ass of a Santa Claus. It's like the back half of Santa. Okay, that's weird. So I'm digging some more. I find the front half of Santa, and I was like, oh my God. It's a Subway Santa Claus action figure that came with Subway, like Happy Meal or whatever. So you clasp them together around the Tim Allen action figure, and he's
Tim Allen action figure.
Yes,
that's amazing.
He's Santa Claus. I'll remember to take a picture of that next time.
Please do. I would love to see that.
I think it was also like a little like Santa Claus snow globe or something. So I love that there are several people watching. If you're in here watching, please feel free to share the feed. Check out my dope flash kicks. Can you see them?
Oh, hell yeah.
Can you see them? You can't.
Oh, that's badass.
I didn't know how to do that. I just like flailed my feet around on the live stream.
For those watching also, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I've said this like the last few live feeds, but if you're watching on Facebook Live, know that this is not the only medium this podcast comes in, and I don't always live stream. So please check out the Journey into Comics Network by going to journeyintocomics.com and subscribe. You can subscribe either there on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and Google Play. And you get so many podcasts on top of that.
But wait, there's more. Because if you go to patreon.com/journeyintocomics, you actually can, for $1, get early access to every show on the network. And for $3, get exclusive content and early access. It's incredible. We have a big thing we're about to announce during Feature Week. we're going to be debuting a Patreon exclusive that is going to go for 18 consistent weeks in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And when that officially gets announced, we will be rolling out a bunch of information for it where people can see what exactly I'm talking about. But teaser, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a pretty risky thing that no other podcast network is trying.
It's going to be rather huge.
Huge.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
It is. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear about it. I can't wait for you guys to hopefully subscribe to us on Patreon, even if it's just for a little while. You know, you can always unsubscribe. We don't want you to. But if you don't want to do it, that's okay. We just want your support, and it'll help us grow.
Yeah, we're on the cusp right now, and Nate needs a new computer, as it were. So
yeah.
Not to say that everybody's Patreon dollars are going to go directly to me getting a new computer, but it will help alleviate.
Yeah,
supplant.
It goes towards stuff like hosting.
Thank you. Very good.
And travel costs.
Yeah.
And so we can do cons.
Yes, exactly.
I love doing cons. I love doing LaFiCon this year.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear back. There might be something going on in late March or early April with another Indiana-based Comic-Con. So hopefully I can get some news on that soon, and we'll be getting it back to you guys. But anyways, it's your show, so I'm going to stop trying to take over with all the plugs and shit.
Oh, dude, it's all the cool thing about my show is my guests are a host too.
Am I?
Yeah.
But
if you didn't notice from Drunk Catastrophe, Nick actually led the hell out of that show.
Dude, he's a pro.
He is. He really is.
Like Nick Maxon, if you are listening, I need you to hear my voice tell you how serious I am when I say you are a phenomenal podcast host. You just have it. Whatever it is, you have it. There's no hesitation in your voice. You're strong to lead. You push your conversation how you want it to go, and it's fucking cool to have you on the network. I'm so stoked for that show. Brews with Dudes is amazing.
Brews with Dudes is amazing.
It's one of the only shows I've not appeared on yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's coming soon though. We've talked some
good.
plans. We've talked some plans.
Get him on all. He expressed that he really wants to be on the Pour Report.
Dude, that can happen easily.
Oh yeah,
AP will make that happen, no question. I want Nick to do Foodies, and I think that's one of the things we talked about is doing a Foodies Brews crossover, kind of how you guys did the Drunk Catastrophe Brews thing.
Yeah,
it would be the same concept, but with Foodies and no Drunk Catastrophe. No shirtless Linder.
Oh man,
Spoiler
that's the
alert.
best. That's the best.
I guess that's the hardest part about your podcast, though. Really, is because like for Drunk Catastrophe, man, it's way more beautiful to watch it. I think.
Oh yeah,
because there's just some hilarious moments. You guys did that at the Doom Room?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. It was really Christmassy and awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick's Death Star Christmas tree topper. Awesome.
Can't beat it.
It changes colors.
Oh.
And it makes sounds.
What?
Yeah. He demonstrated for us before we started.
Shit.
I guess on to the next topic of discussion. And for whatever reason, if you don't want to discuss it, it's fine. What have you been doing for your podcast lately that are to improve? Like, what are some things that coming down the pipeline that you can talk about? What are some things you've been doing to, spice it up a bit?
Well, I think that with the network and the way things have been going as of late and having my hands in like 10 different shows, really, and it's not like I'm doing a lot for every show, but in a little way, I try to peek my head in as a boss and say, hey, is it cool? Good, great. Okay,
yeah.
keep doing you. You're doing fucking awesome.
And you do really a really good job of that.
But really, it's weird because I don't think I did a lot, and I've noticed our numbers went up and improved. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't change much of what I did. I mean, I'm trying to be better about being mindful about how I'm saying things, and when I'm coming into a podcast, I definitely am in the hours leading up to podcasting thinking about what I want to say and making sure there are some important points I want to make for whatever the topic we're talking about at the time is. But really, I think it's just about relaxing and not giving a fuck. Like, I don't care that there's a fucking camera here recording me, and I don't care that you've got a microphone on me, and I don't care if fucking somebody from CBS News comes in and films us having a conversation about having a conversation, because I love talking.
Yeah,
so that's
same.
All that matters to me.
That's why I wanted to do this.
Exactly, it's the element of just being able to put your thoughts in a place and never let them go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really great. And it also shows your growth as a person. It's crazy to think about, like, a year ago, before the network officially happened, we were announcing that Journey into Wrestling was going to officially just be on the feed every episode. So it was like the preamble to what the network became. And then the same decision got made for foodies, and it was like, okay, well, we're two in. Then you made the decision, and so on, and now we're here. So what do I do to improve? It's just constantly listening. I think I'm not afraid to take criticism either. If someone comes to me and is like, hey, man, you said fucking 100 times in that podcast, and all I hear is Nate going, it's annoying. Stop. I'll be like, oh, fuck, I got to remember that if I'm going to say something, I need to think about it and just let the words flow. Don't stop and go, oh, yeah, here's my thought, so on and so forth. So that's all I have.
I've always enjoyed your criticism.
Criticism? Do I criticize?
Well, not exactly. It's constructive criticism.
Okay, fair enough.
I've always enjoyed that. I've always enjoyed anything you can point out, or anything anyone can point out, because I've always accepted criticism in general because it helps you grow.
It absolutely does.
It helps you, even if the criticism's, I guess, wrong.
Wrong.
Even if it's wrong, like it still, if you're open-minded about it, it still allows you to take a step back and look at what they're pointing out and be like, okay,
why did they see that?
Yeah, why did they see that? Or, okay, maybe, nah, it's not there. Okay, cool.
It's hard. I will say that that's one thing that's a little bit more difficult for me because, as Veronica will say, I'm a doer. Mm-hmm. If I put my mind to something, I just do it. Like, it's not like, hey, I'm going to go make all these, like, title cards for different episodes we have coming up. Nope, I just go do it, and I don't even think about it, and I get the work done. I didn't eat yesterday because literally after I got done with Journey into Wrestling, I stood at the computer that we're borrowing from Veronica for 6.5 hours making title cards for the event that I'm talking about that we have coming up.
Yes, and they're awesome.
And you have seen those? You got
I previewed them, yes.
So it's hard for me to really, like, because I want to be like, I would love to see your episode be out by then, but I know how it works too. Sometimes you can plan your fucking whole life away to get a podcast done, and it doesn't work. Things come up. Do you remember one time we recorded a podcast?
Yeah.
Never saw the light of day. I'm so sad about that one still to this day.
I really am too. And you mentioned that on your interview with Podcasting Smarter.
Oh yeah, I did that. That was cool.
Yeah, you mentioned that we did that episode and it was so great and it was lightning in a bottle.
And then you even said like, I can't wait to hear this. I'm so excited.
I don't think I've ever heard the phrase lightning in a bottle more than since that episode. And you know what? Like, I may have heard it before that, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I immediately knew exactly what it meant.
Yes, because
like,
there was a certain...
That's such a cool phrase.
And that's another thing I will say, too. With all the people that are a part of the network, and I mentioned this on Podcasting Smarter, you guys all are a part of this by way of Journey into Comics, whether it was doing a holiday bullshit or a special Metalcast or whatever. The groundwork was laid in JIC.
Yes.
Now it's like you guys all got your own spinoffs, like we're the fucking CW or something, you know. I guess that makes you the Flash of our universe, if that makes, because I guess we're the Arrowverse.
I'm okay being Barry Allen.
Does that make Brando Diggle? I don't know why
he is or was watching. So
yeah, I thought that was good.
Hey, at least. Spoiler alert, you eventually become the Green Arrow.
Truth. The thing is, though, is being a part of this and coming on different shows, doing your show.
Yeah.
Every time we do a show together, I feel like it's magical in one way or another. Because even if it's like we don't even have, like, there's no notes right now.
No.
You don't have a goddamn lick of nothing that tells me what we're doing. We're just rolling with it right now. And that's what I love about your show is that we're just in the moment and just kind of like going with it. And we're talking about whatever's happening and whatnot. And then you look at like a show like, for example, The Poor Report. I had to host that show.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was very ill prepared until I was prepared. And the way I did that was literally just go, well, how does AP do his show? He researches. He thinks about what he wants to talk about. And then typically he'll utilize an article to inform his audience and then give his opinion. Smart. I just did that in my own fucking Nate way, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just glad that everybody on the network meshes so well together and that we can kind of create these cool avenues in and out between the different shows, you know? Mm-hmm. It is very interconnected in that regard.
I love being part of it so much. 'Cause it's like it's a family and it's a band. So I've told you that before.
Yes,
it's like a band.
It is like a band, except for there's no gigs. Except for I guess this is technically a gig.
Yeah.
There's no but there is an audience. See, this is so confusing. It is a band. Podcasting is a band.
It's a band minus
Instruments, sort of, because microphones.
We got microphones.
Shit.
We got microphones and recording things.
Fuck.
We have instruments.
But we're not. There's no musicality to it.
Yeah, not always.
Not always, unless one of your awesome guests like Richard or Jake.
Josh.
I fucked that up. Sorry.
It's all
so
good.
terrible
It's all
at
good.
names.
He doesn't have
sometimes.
Facebook, so who cares?
Oh.
We can talk shit.
Fuck you, Jake.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jake.
Jake Skywalker.
Jake Skywalker.
That's what Mark Hamill called Luke Skywalker because it was like he felt like a departure from the character.
Well, I feel like such an asshole because Nick Maxon was talking to me about that. He's like, fucking Mark Hamill, he keeps going on about how he doesn't like the role. He doesn't like this Luke Skywalker. And I'm like, because he was talking to me because he listened to JIC episode 170.
Ooh, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Featuring Dick from Podcastrophe and McLaughlin. We made the McLaughlin signal.
Yes, I mentioned that. I mentioned that to you when we were discussing you coming down here. Which you were coming down here anyways. But when we mentioned you coming to the show, I was like, you're like, hey, any other guests? I'm like, if anything, we can throw up the McLaughlin signal and bring his ass in here.
Maybe we should call it the Thai signal.
The Thai signal.
Yeah, because it rolls off the tongue better. I was thinking about it.
The Thai signal.
Speaking of which, I love how the people who are seeing the live stream, you've got the JIC Network logo and the Podcastrophe logo.
That was actually kind of where I was leading with the whole what we do to improve the show.
Okay.
Myself and Tyler McLaughlin have been looking into streaming on Twitch.
Cool.
And
you started Twitch, didn't you? You
yes.
have a Twitch account now?
Yes. So he wants to do more so for streaming video games. Like Monster Hunter World is coming out later in January 26th. And he wants us to get really big on, because there's not a whole lot of Twitchers streaming Monster Hunter. So figured we could become a staple of that Monster Hunter community. And I was like, well, that's awesome. And I don't have like the best gaming setup in terms of my computer's here and my TV's here. I don't have the room for that right now. Mm-hmm. So, but I do have a podcast and I do live streams on that podcast. So I would like to utilize Twitch for podcasting, because there's there's an audience there and it gets me away from Facebook Live. I'm not too big on Facebook Live. I don't like it that much.
You know, looking at the quality, it's kind of it looks less good than what I was expecting.
I think that's just the streaming software I'm using, which is one of the things I got from Twitch. They have a whole list of all these different softwares you can use, and I'm using OBS Studio, and it allows me to put these little logos and stuff on there. I can throw up animations and all kinds of other things. Choose to use my audio
interface. It
interface.
looks really good on the phone.
Oh, well, that's good.
It looks really good on the phone.
Maybe it's just this. I don't know.
Thanks to whoever's watching.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you if you're all still watching. My next big thing is to get some software that can stream to multiple sites at once.
I love this setup, bro.
Thank you.
If I had the fundage, I would have this set up, because I would love to live stream JIC and live stream all the shows we do.
I wish we could.
That's that talking about improving and talking about goals now. Brandon and I have discussed the possibility of someday opening a little studio where it's a couple rooms.
Yeah, he's talked to me about that as well.
With your podcasting setups in the 2 rooms, one set of microphone or one set of cameras, so you can just like go from one to the other. Uh-oh, you're making a face.
I am.
Uh-oh. What's the face about?
Just go on. I'll get to it.
Okay. So, I think I know what it's going to be. Anyways, so the thing is this, like, I would love...
Flip it off.
Oh. Wait, who did I flip off?
Sorry to interrupt. So, one of my guests for today, who has been almost a guest before, I mentioned, because I can't remember what brought it up, but I was like, hey, I'm recording tomorrow. You should come over. It's my good friend Austin Welch.
Okay.
Called out. He just snapped me because he's like, yeah, I do need to get on there. I'll let you know if the roads aren't bad. He lives in the middle of nowhere, so that is a valid excuse.
Fair enough.
He just snipped me a Snapchat. I'm guessing to get rid of he's my longest streak on Snapchat, like 250 something days.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's intense, and he's lost it before, so it could be longer. But he sent me a snap basically saying he has a cold and he's gonna read all day. So I, of course, had to snap him back while recording, flipping him off. I'm like, fuck you.
You made me flip a dude I don't know off?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Mad sorry, Austin Welch.
He is a really...
That's weird.
He is a
because
character.
Welch, do you know what that means?
Huh.
To welch on a bet? It means to not go through with the bet.
Okay.
To
Yeah,
welch
makes
on
sense.
a bet, right?
That makes
So
sense.
that's weird that you just said that that's his last name and he welched on your podcast. You go through with your podcast.
To be fair, I guess he's sick, so whatever.
Feel better soon.
Yeah,
Welch.
feel better, buddy. He's got a very interesting life. I love seeing the things he's doing because he has a degree in I can't remember what his degree is, but
Thugonomics.
Thugonomics. He has a degree in something to do with movies and production and all that. He went to Full Sail, I think. Yeah, Full Sail, whatever.
That's
It's down in Orlando. He went to Full Sail University, I believe, and so he moved to New York City, and he started working for BuzzFeed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I posted a video recently. They had a video where they had Star Wars fans react to the 1977 holiday special.
Yes.
And he got to be part of that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he was one of the people that they filmed reacting to it, which was awesome. And of course, he was the Austin that I know, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly what he would say. And like I said, he's a character. I have to have him on this show. You have to be on this show, Austin. Like, come on, dude. It's so much fun, and the people would love you.
Absolutely.
And he is so opinionated about shows, but in a good way. Like shows, movies.
So he's passionate.
He's very, very passionate. Just wait till you hear him talk.
Great.
Just
I would
wait
love
till
to
you
see
start
this video
hearing him
he was
talk.
a part of.
Oh man, like that was him toned down. Like when he gets going,
Toned down for what?
well, when he gets going, he goes, and it's great. Yeah, I need to get him on here.
I'm gonna reshare our liveness.
Okay, go for it.
Because I want people to see this shit. Right post. Live
Oh yeah,
podcast trophy.
I'm so glad you're saying all this
With
stuff because it allows for there not to be dead space.
Me.
Is this technically dead space since we're just talking about the not dead space?
I don't know. That's weird how that works, right? You fill it how you want to. It's strange because there's, again, no rules for podcasting, so you could have silence.
And there's definitely no rules for Podcastrophe other than fucking have a good time.
Yeah, I agree with that. The weird thing is, I want to mention, I feel like, have you ever listened to a podcast that does have like 8 seconds of silence?
Yeah.
After 2, you know what you do? Oh, it's done. Shit. Oops. I did that for one of the podcasts we did. I fucked up and forgot to edit some silence out.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. Because I was listening to my own podcast. I was like, oh my God, I forgot to put the back half of the podcast on it. What do I do? I'm freaking out. And then it was there. And then it was just 8 seconds of silence. It was the longest. Damn. So what have you learned podcasting? Like what are some things that you feel more wise about now that you do it? Ooh, you just ummed.
I did that on purpose after the first one, obviously.
The first one though was you thinking about it.
It was, so it's not exactly it's not a filler word.
Did you see this?
It was legit. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, okay.
I've been tempted to get one of those things, but
Dope, dude. Here, I'll show the live feed.
Yeah.
It's this cool flash, dude. It closes, it opens, or whatever. You can just like fucking.
You slap it on the
bam.
back of your phone, and you can hold it.
It's a fucking
it's a
kickstand.
little gripper thing. That's the way I see it. It's something there to grip, and but I don't need it. I've never needed one. It's whatever.
I got a fancy iPhone.
What have I learned is when it comes to getting a guest on here, I got to be more open to inviting new people on. I gotta somehow get past the anxiety of talking to somebody that hasn't been on here, and being able to, because the anxiety comes from where I haven't had them on here, so I don't know if the conversation is going to be good, and is there going to be a lot of awkward dead space?
You know what that takes? The cunningness of a host to know that the silence is there, and to, as soon as the silence starts to happen, or another thing that'll happen, and listen, you've been guilty of it, I've been guilty of it, Brando, everybody who podcasts is guilty of it. Picking this thing up and utilizing a phone while you're podcasting is kryptonite, because your brain immediately is not in two places at once.
Exactly.
So what happens is,
I've done it several times since here.
Me too. Since
we've been recording, but mostly just I've only used it to check, because the way Facebook Live works, if you share it, some people don't realize that their comments aren't going to be seen in the actual video unless they're actually in the video.
Oh yeah.
So I was checking to make sure nobody was commenting on that. Thankfully, nobody has.
Unthankfully.
Fucking
comment.
Yeah, comment. Talk to us.
Say things to us. I'll talk about any topic. Have no fear.
Same.
I
I haven't quite learned too much other than I don't know, because all my knowledge, all my technical knowledge comes from the music world and learning the production side of things, like my interface and setup and all that. I learned how to do all that stuff when I started learning about production and mixing.
Yeah, I think that's one thing you do have a strong advantage on, is you do know a lot about the mixing and stuff like that. It's cool you use this super advanced fucking program or whatever. I'm cool with Audacity, bro. I this looks so advanced to me. I'm just how would I even?
Which I'm going to talk to you about this when we're done.
Cool, that's great.
I can't wait, because I'm going to give it to you.
What?
Yeah. I found out that my license spans a couple devices. So I'm just going to give that and the license.
Oh,
so you can use it and all of its glorious plugins.
And learn how to utilize it better.
Yeah. Or,
cool.
If you want, you can just download it and buy a license yourself. It's the cheapest thing. It's $50.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, for as powerful as a program as Reaper is, it's so cheap. And it's every bit as powerful as Pro Tools, in my opinion.
And not sponsored by Podcastrophe. Or Podcastrophe is not sponsored by Reaper.
They probably won't once they find out I'm giving you my license.
Oh, well. My thing is, with this, I just look at it and I think about things I need to do, and it just terrifies me. I'd have to learn a whole new thing. But I'm willing to learn. I don't give a shit.
It's every bit.
How big are the files when you export? How many gigs or megs?
When I export into MP3, they're usually about 100 megabytes.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Especially for MP3, that's pretty good. And I'm rendering at a really slow pace for better quality. So that increases the size as well.
Excellent.
If I were to do WAV, it'd be much bigger. much bigger.
Well, that's a WAV file for you.
But it's unnecessary. It's spoken word, and I'm putting a lot of processing onto it.
I love that you just used spoken word. That's such an adult thing to call podcasting.
It is.
Because before podcasting, there were spoken word FM channels. That was just people talking, talk radio and whatnot. So
I can't wait till I can improve my already pretty awesome home studio and get outboarding gear, which is instead of using a plug-in for compression or EQ, I can actually have
a compressor,
a physical device here that will compress the audio going in, and because it's a lot more natural sounding and better, more gooder.
That's a great thing to do. This is your last show of 2017?
It is.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you do something on your show and take the reins for a minute and just throw this at you.
Do it.
2 things. I want you to quickly reflect on what you think podcasting was to you in 2017. Of course, you started only in August, so you're a little you only have the last quarter of 2017 to reflect on.
I'll reflect on the whole year.
But more importantly, I want to know what your plans and possible goals for 2018 are for your show. Because I don't. This show is great. It could do any number of things. You could have any number of style of episodes. I just want to know, have you like thought any of that out?
I have.
Okay. Let's hear
so the first half of 2017, podcasting to me was, I'm a guest, and then it became, I have my own segment. I'm a host of my own segment. And it kind of, the anxiety was there because I'm like, oh shit, I got to come up with something this week. I got to create. And that was something that drove me away from starting this podcast originally. Although originally the idea wasn't that I was going to be the creator. It was going to be that I was the co-host and just there for the ride. But then it came to, I have this segment and I got to create. And of course I put myself in a hole. I dug my own grave, essentially, to an extent, not fully, but because it worked and it was awesome. But it made it so like I would have to continually work harder by the fact that I would have. I mean, it's silly, the little things, but I would have to come up with a new title for my segment every time, and I would have to come up with a new intro every single time.
Yeah, you created a gimmick.
And I did.
Yeah,
I had these two gimmicks. And I was like, shit, I can't just stop.
That's like now I can't envision ending a journey into comics without saying fill your brains with shit. Like it's there. It's
make every day a big dick day.
Oh, I love the end of this show. It was weird because you did Voice of Survival with me. Mm-hmm. And we closed that show with the Podcastrophe outro. Yeah. Because I like that's a thing that I kind of have the availability to do is if I do have anybody on my show who's musically inclined or they have something that's unique to them, I can add it to the end of my show because my show does have outro music, but it can be whatever, like I can change it. It doesn't really matter. So it was really fun to like edit the Big Dick Day song. I took out the 4 stick hits and just like got right into it. That's a little behind the scenes.
Speaking of music, I guess. Something I said I was going to do a while back, a couple episodes back, that I haven't really done since. It was on my solo cast. I put music in the middle of it. Oh. And I said I was going to keep doing that, and I haven't yet. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have to find the file. And this is going to be fun since we were Facebook Living, so they'll get to see all the magic happen. But I'm going to go ahead and play my good friends in Catalytic from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to play their rendition of Carol of the Bells.
Oh, radical.
Oh, yeah. So, everybody listening, this is Carol of the Bells by Catalytic. Enjoy. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. That was Catalytic, Carol of the Bells. What do you think, Nate?
I liked it. It was groovy. The quality of the recording is dope. Like for them being a more localized band, they're on a show. I just saw a huge announcement for like.
Darkest
is
Hour.
A part of it.
Oh no, okay.
Fastidio is a part of it. Like it was like Indiana metalcore lineup show fest or some bullshit. It was fucking nuts. Also, I want to mention while we were off listening to Carol of the Bells, Felipe from Gummy Worms.
Yes,
last
episode
week,
16.
He said, anyways, he asked me if I could have any theme song to my life, what would it be? And it's Witness by Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Okay. I don't know that song.
You should listen to it. It's definitely like not metal at all. Mindless Self-Indulgence is a totally different thing, but I just resonate with the lyrics because I was a nobody, nothing person who had no drive and no understanding of what my future really held. Like I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to do all these things, and it wasn't until I found podcasting and really dove in head first into this side of it that like opened my passions, and that I can podcast, I can also be a musician, I can create in other ways. And that song is just talking about how like I need someone to have witnessed at how my life was to how it is now, like the evolution from where I was to where I am, and I'm always grateful that I've been able to grow and develop in that regard. So just to answer Felipe's question, that's my go-to.
My answer for that is pretty multifaceted because at this very moment in time, I honestly can't think of any
It's a
theme
big-ass
song.
word, multifaceted.
I know. Verbiage.
You can't think of a theme song for your own life, man.
Vocabulary. No, because right now, okay, so when I think of theme song, it's usually my favorite song represents who I am at that time and how I'm feeling. And for the longest time, it was Forget to Remember by Mudvayne. I mentioned that on Voice of Survival, episode 10.
Yeah.
And then it was, I think, Holy Diver, Killswitch Engage version. Just because that song, it always made me happy, no matter how bad I was feeling. And then moving forward, became my current favorite song which has no representation for how I'm feeling about my life. It's just an incredibly beautiful song. But I did feel a connection to it for a while. It was Blue in the Gray by Parkway Drive. And it's a very reflective song. It's a very sad song. Rage. And I say rage, and I feel like I've talked about this on the show before, but rage to me isn't just anger.
No, rage is much deeper than that.
Rage is passion.
Exactly.
Rage is passion, and rage amplifies whatever emotion is attached to it. Like rage to me can be sadness. Rage to me can be happy. No, I wouldn't say happiness. I don't know. Could it be happiness?
Rage as a happiness, it could work.
Like we're partying, we're raging.
Well, that's raving. But no, rage can be used positively. Like let's go rage and throw down and have a good time and get wild with our friends. That's another thing to talk about is how like crazy words are now. Like, the new meanings for all these other words. God.
Yeah. At this very moment, if I were to pick a theme song, it would probably be this podcast closing song, Big Dick Day by Pizza Face. Just because it's such a positive song, I guess. Like it's got a nice like positive flow to it, and it's about having a good time, and it's about making the best of your life, and everything's going as planned, I guess, and you're just enjoying it.
Last week was a big dick week for me.
Awesome.
Can be such a thing.
Awesome.
I feel like that the lyrics to that song are highly accurate to the majority of my life. So it's that song is so motivational too. Like when I listen to the end of your shows, I'm always just like, yes, like let's go get some shit done because I'm in a great mood now.
Awesome.
You know?
I'm glad I can do that. I'm glad Pizza Face can do that for you.
Yeah. Well, it's you selected it.
I still haven't told them that I use their song for my podcast. honest. I don't think they're not gonna care.
Do you know them personally, right? Quasi.
Yeah, because I mean they played the Hilltop Fortress, they played the Doom Room, they've played the Doom Room, and they haven't even been. Okay, I'm gonna say this: they played the Doom Room, and they weren't even there.
What?
Because they were so ingrained in our music scene. They're from Philadelphia.
Okay.
They were so ingrained in our music scene from playing the Narrow House and the Skylight Cafe, and I think they played the Skylight and the Hilltop Fortress and all these other places, that some of our bands around town started covering their songs. And so whenever the actual Pizza Face wasn't there, they always called it Pizza Face Deep Dish Edition. So one of the times that Pizza Face Deep Dish Edition played, it was Gooch from Cardiac Arrest. It was Cody Clem from formerly of Weed Bee, and my band Catacresis back in the day. And then Dave Linder sang for him. Ray Carlisle from formerly of Lucifist and Narrow House and Cardiac Arrest and all these other bands.
He's Ray Carlisle is in Thermonuclear Division?
No. Oh yeah, he is.
He is.
He's the drummer. He drummed for Cardiac Arrest as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Cardiac Arrest would great.
Which Cardiac Arrest came from Pizza Face. It was
What's up, Mike T. Amber Renee?
Oh, that's my sister that lives up by you.
By me?
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
wild.
This is if you're listening, this is the guy, this Nate guy. He lives up by you.
Hessville, what up?
No, so Deep Dish Edition. It's always fun because they have a song called Operation Kill Keg, and they bring a keg out, and you got to kill the keg before the end of the song.
Oh my god!
Which is kind of insane because most of their songs are only about a minute long.
Wow, impossible.
No, so they'll just play it over and over again until it's gone.
That's kind of awesome.
They play
it's like Wheels on the Bus, but getting drunk.
Yeah. They play Big Dick Day. I think that night, the last time Pizza Face played, like Pizza Face actually played. See, they also brought back Cardiac Arrest for that night, which Dave Linder, they did a Deep Dish edition of Cardiac Arrest.
Awesome.
Because that's so ingrained in our fucking music scene. But I think every band that night played Big Dick Day.
Really?
And that's the first time I heard it was that night.
Oh, that's great.
And then Pizza Face played that like 3 or 4 times. Because their songs are so short that they can just fuck it, play it again.
Dude, they do it again, do it again. I was going to say something and my brain just melted off. I can't. Damn it. It was, oh, dude. Speaking of the music scene in Lafayette.
Yeah.
We won an award.
Yes, you did.
What the fuck?
Yes, you did.
Holy shit, dude. That was crazy. I genuinely was not expecting that.
I voted for you.
Thanks. I voted for you. Did you? Who won the person award? Was it Austin?
It was Nick Maxon.
What?
Curse you! I should have voted for myself more. I tried. I honestly thought I was going to get it.
Love you, Dickie.
David. I was in a band with him right before I started this podcast.
Cool.
He's definitely going to be a guest on here.
That's awesome. But back to the award thing. Like, that was weird.
Yeah.
We played this show. We did all of Earth AD, which is like the last Misfits album that came out in '83 before they technically broke up, before the Michael Graves era, which we won't have to get into. But we did that show, and it was just one of those things where venue mixed with poor advertising from the place or whatever. I don't know what the reason was. It was not a great turnout. And we blew through Earth AD and killed it, and it was great. But we got off stage, and we were kind of feeling like bummed.
Yeah.
And you've played shows before, and sometimes you have that bummed feeling. Like, man, that one leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
If I ever did have that feeling, it was probably from my own performance.
Which sometimes that's all you can really reflect on, obviously, you know. But we get off stage, we're driving back from the venue back home, and you had sent that thing in the group. I about fucking fainted and wrecked the truck because I was just like, I wasn't first of all, I wasn't expecting us to win anything. It was great to be nominated.
Uh-huh.
So not only was I not expecting to win anything, but if we had a chance at anything, I thought, like, best tribute, we probably have that on lock. Did not expect best new act. That was like,
yeah,
I felt really genuinely touched by that, and was just like, wow, the Doom Room, just like that. That's really sweet, and that's our first award, so that's like really extra
yeah.
sweet.
I mean, we love you down here. We seriously love you guys down here.
We like playing Lafayette. It's a fun place.
Which show was that you were referring to, by the way?
Which show?
Yeah, the one you played. Was it one of the shows you played here?
No, this was the night that you sent the thing. It was the night that show was happening here.
Okay.
We were
Sorry.
playing in Plano, Illinois, and at a cool place. This place, the Brick Lounge. But the show just left something to be desired. It was a little subpar.
I get you.
And
now I get you.
And then it's weird because we played like 6 days later, minus our bass player, which unfortunately is a thing we've had to do sometimes. He gets roped into work because he's a manager for Whole Foods. So,
oh wow,
like he's the dude, you know. And the thing that just like it sucks is he's like, I can't do this show, guys. Sorry. And the three of us, Sarah V and I, can just like do that. We're strong enough musicians. We can just do that. We played in Mishawaka on the Friday following the show of the awards night. And it was an awesome show. It was a lot of fun. And it was like, it's just weird how quickly you can just like brush off a show when you have something like that happen.
What would you say? I don't. This is gonna be weird.
Nope,
like
nothing's weird. Ask me.
Worst experience from a show.
I'll tell you. I will fucking. It's time for me to go on my soapbox, bro. This one's been. I've been holding this one in for a long time. So last year. First of all, I want to mention that when Walk Among Us started, our only goal was to perform the Misfits Michael Graves era album Famous Monsters. Play it once live, done. Never do that again. We're done. No long-term plan for Walk Among Us, any of that. It was months of us trying to decide what the name was going to be. We finally found the name when we started practicing. We worked for a year and change on Famous Monsters. Every song on the album, that's 18 songs at an hour and like 8 minutes worth of material, okay?
I'm going to cut you short. Not short, but...
Oh,
Dustin Chavez of Catalytic.
Yeah.
We just played Carol of the Bells.
It was awesome, actually. I want to remark again that it was fucking cool as hell to hear that Carol of the Bells rendition. I air drummed to it.
Oh, nice. So if you need a drummer...
No.
He's not going to do it.
I can't. I'm so sorry. I keep seeing his posts, too. Like, we need a drummer, and I'm just like, God,
I'm glad
I
they
wish
found a
somebody would
guitarist.
fucking step up. If I wasn't so busy, I would, you know. But
I'm glad they found a guitarist because they needed one, too. Their founding guitarist, I think, James, he left the band, too. So
damn.
That bums me out because James is a really good dude. But, you know, if you're not feeling it anymore and you want to go further, awesome.
Yo. Thanks, dudes. No, thank you, Dustin,
thank you, Dustin.
Playing good music. And good luck on your upcoming shows. But back to this shit show and the worst experience. So we work really hard on Famous Monsters. I mean, I'm talking putting hours a day into learning these songs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of complicated shit that's going on with them. I was not a drummer when we started this thing at all. I only played guitar. So time comes and a situation presents itself. There's going to be a benefit for Michael Graves because his trailer got stolen. Spoiler alert. He's had like his trailer stolen 5 or 6 times. So learn to be better at trailers, Michael Graves. Or find a different way to transport your shit. Anyway, so this place, the Looney Bin in Illinois, is going to host this show, benefit for Michael Graves. And they actually had like this band Sleaze, and the creator of Sleaze is the stepson of Doyle from the Misfits. Like not blood, but lived with him for a while. Long story there. Anyways, so we get told we're on the card, and we're like, we'll do all of Famous Monsters. It's Michael Graves' benefit. Why not do arguably the best Michael Graves album to ever come out? Fuck you. We'll just throw it down. You know, why not? We go there. The promoter's not there. It's just the owner. The promoter's not there. He was supposed to perform. The promoter's not there. He sent 2 fucking old dudes to perform. The promoter's not there. The old dudes performed for an hour and a half. There are still 4 other bands to go. We don't take stage until 2:30 in the morning.
What the fuck?
There was no one there. And guess what? There's a fucking sound curfew. We only got an hour set and had to cut 2 songs.
Wow.
Well, here's how strongly we felt about that event. Since then, we have not and will not ever play Michael Graves' music from the Misfits.
Wow.
That event killed it for me. It took the love out of those songs. We loved those songs, dude. We played those songs, and we were so well versed in them together. Didn't matter that there's the whole Michael Graves versus Glenn Danzig shit, because we made those songs fucking shine.
Yeah.
And then for it to get taken away in a moment like that, just like it not only muddied the waters, it left a fucking gross ass taste in my mouth of just like, I can't put myself through that again. I did all this hard work and the fucking payoff is no payoff at all. So that's when we switched focus and we're strictly Danzig now, as hard as we can.
That kind of bums me out. Not necessarily because I'm not a Misfits fan, as you know.
Poser.
I don't have any Misfits stuff, pal.
I'm giving you.
The closest thing I have to Misfits stuff is stickers for your band.
Yeah!
But it kind of bums me out that the music now suffers in your mind because of a fucking promoter.
Well, it wasn't just the promoter, because the promoter wasn't there because he was sick. So that's reasonable.
Okay.
But you have to think, when the promoter's not there because he's sick, he didn't think about having anyone step up to run the show, and it ran off the rails in the first hour and a half. Every other band only got 30-minute sets, but they took 3 bands worth of time up. Pushed us an hour and a half back, which we would have not cared to play at like 12:30. That's cool. It's like the perfect time to play is 12:30. That's a great time for party environment. But I digress. It was not the case, and it was just it changed that stuff for me forever. And maybe, who knows? You know, Lafayette, I will say this, it's really funny because Lafayette is the place we get the biggest suggestion to play Michael Graves era stuff. I feel like there is a huge just world of Misfits Michael Graves fans in this area. But then I think about Michael Graves himself came here and played.
Yeah.
It was not a great show, right? There wasn't a ton of people.
I left. I was there to play. I was there to see Only Human. I was supposed to perform with Only Human, but I was sick.
But
so.
it wasn't there weren't like 200 people. It wasn't anything crazy. It was an average show.
Yeah, I think it was pretty dead when I got there, if
So,
I remember.
You know, it's like I would rather play the Misfit songs that I fucking, you know, pardon my proverbial speaking here, but get hard for, as it were. You know, they're
Get
like,
a big dick for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, we did this Earth AD stuff, and there's songs like Death Comes Ripping that have some of the craziest drums that I've ever played. And it's not like they're crazy hard, but they're intricate. And it made me work for it, so it just gives me this passion and this like pride of I can do that. And that was something I didn't think I could do. And, you know, the other Michael Graves stuff and whatnot is like, we did it. And it got us nowhere. And it made us feel not good. Not necessarily because we didn't play it well, but it's just, you know, you've been on stage and things go wrong. Mm-hmm. They do. And that's music.
They do. You guys have had a lot of technical issues here in town.
Buddy, I think that, and this is nothing against Nick or the people he gets, but I think in future, we're planning on just like setting our sound on whoever's bored. Because the thing that's bizarre to me is when we rehearse, we're in a room just a little bit bigger than this room in my house. You've been back there. No feedback, no problems. Everybody's crystal clear. Why the hell at a professional environment with a huge-ass sound system like the Carnahan Hall are there technical issues? And it wasn't because Nick did anything wrong. It's not like it was in his hands. Someone else dropped the ball, so they had to think ahead.
Which those sound guys, I've never seen them before.
But well, not only are they trying to think ahead, these sound guys or whatever, but then when they come back, they didn't even think to plug the monitors in. And when I'm hearing the thermonuclear division guys go, we didn't have monitors on stage, I was just like, oh, they probably just didn't hear them. And then through all of sound check, no monitors. Well, that's weird. No monitors. Well, that's fucking strange. Well, of course, when it's time to perform and there's no fucking monitors, we're gonna freak out.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember watching Sarah, and she was pissed.
Yeah, she had every right to be, but I think that, you know, I wasn't in the crowd listening.
You guys sounded great.
But I think we can hold our own because I don't need to hear Sarah play piano. I can barely listen to V play or sing her parts or barely hear Rob, and I'll keep everything where we need to be because I think we all have that ability. We've gelled enough with each other. We know the songs well enough. We start the song, we play the song is done, and there's no flaws, even if we can't hear ourselves.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much more enjoyable when we can. You know,
it does. That's something I always suffered from. If I wasn't able to hear myself, I had a hard time performing. Being the singer, I need to hear myself.
Absolutely.
There are some singers that they're like, turn me the fuck off. Don't put me in the monitor at all. And I'm sorry, I got to hear myself. Even if I'm screaming and there's no notes.
If you've ever heard somebody, I'm going to call some shit out right now.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard a lead singer go, don't put me in the monitors, it's because they're a fucking shitty lead singer. Straight up. If you tell, hey, I don't want to be in the monitors, so you're perfect. You don't make mistakes. You know every sound you're going to make. You can account for every possible different thing, and your bandmates can too. That's what you're saying, and I call bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care how perfect you are.
I got to hear myself.
You have to, vocally speaking.
I have to hear myself when I'm recording. I have to hear myself when I'm on stage or practicing. If I can't, fuck.
What up, Colby Terry?
Thank you for watching, Colby.
He needs to be on this show sometime.
Yeah, I thought about inviting him today, actually. I don't know why I didn't.
Is he in town?
He's in town until the 3rd.
Oh, boo earns.
I should have. My bad. He was supposed to... he wasn't supposed to be, but I invited him along for Podcastrophe as well.
Nice.
He said he'd join if he could, but he didn't.
Man. So what else you want to talk about today, brother?
I'll talk about my worst experience.
Yes, please do.
Which I don't have a whole lot of
And you didn't answer my other question.
What's that?
What your goals for 2018
Oh,
are?
shit. Yeah, we started tangenting and stuff.
Yeah, it happens. But do the worst experience first.
I'll do the worst
we'll
experience
come back
first.
To that last thing.
Which I don't have a lot of shows. I probably have like 4 or 5 shows under my belt in terms of like my own band. And they were all, let's see, this is 2017. They were all 6 years ago.
Okay, it's 2011.
They were all 6 years ago. I was but a wee lad. 2021.
Green in the music scene.
Still green in the music scene.
I feel you.
But it was actually my last show. It was my best and worst show.
Please explain how that even makes any sense.
It was my best performance.
Okay.
I actually moved around. I engaged the crowd. We had a whole stage light show that we brought, with fog and everything.
Fucking cool.
We opened the show. I think we opened the show. Yeah, we opened the show. And the at Jerry Lee's Pub, completely packed. Completely packed. You know, we were opening for Narrow House and Threat Level, which Threat Level is no longer a band. But yeah, this was my last show that I performed. My best show. And for me to see, and like just the people that I knew was going to be there. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm actually good now. I'm bringing my A game tonight. And I did bring my A game. And like most of them were sitting down. Hardly anybody was actually standing in front of the stage. And that bummed me the fuck out.
No interaction.
No interaction. I think at one point, our friend Levi came up and stood by the stage.
See, the thing is this, man, to talk about what you're saying with no interaction. That is the curse of the modern music scene. And it is because of cell phones, and it is because of all these other things. You know what's cool about the Misfits? They are going to be performing in, I think, tomorrow and then in 3 days. Okay, they have 2 shows scheduled, one in Vegas and one in LA for their 40th anniversary as a band with the OG lineup. They only played 2 shows last year, first time in 33 years.
Yeah.
Danzig and company have made it official. It is a rule. No cell phones at the Misfits shows that they're about to do.
Kind of like Tool.
You can't bring you have to lock it in a little locker, and they give you a little key to the little
wow.
locker. And like they won't let you in if you have your cell phone and you refuse to do that, because people are missing the experience of music. And let me tell you, if I don't have you giving me energy on stage,
oh yeah,
I'm not going to have energy to play for you. Because why? You don't care.
I used to be really bad about like answering my phone during a show and stuff, but now like I typically give it my full attention. I won't touch my phone, and except to post Snapchats and videos and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, and you got to think too is like, okay, for example, like you guys come see us play, and you guys are all interacting and into it and stuff, and it makes us have fun.
You feed
play
off
better,
that, yeah.
And then guess what? We want to come back here and play more shows, and then guess what? More people that you tell, hey, you're gonna have a fucking good time. You're gonna have a great time coming and seeing these guys play because their energy is what's the thing. It's not even about the songs or whatever. That's what is missing in most music scenes. And there have been very few music scenes since I've gotten back into music that have this. Chicago, you don't have it. I'm sorry. Chicago is the worst music scene. Hands down. I've been there. I've played countless shows in 2017. I think we played 6 times in 2017 in Chicago to maybe a max of 25 people. Maybe.
Yeah.
Played Indianapolis. Sold the motherfucking joint out. Played Fort Wayne, sold the motherfucking joint out. Played all these places in Indiana. Played Lafayette, get great crowd reactions. Mm-hmm. It's because the places that have the scenes, they have recognized there is a problem within their scene, and these people, your Nick Maxons, if you will, are taking charge. Your Adam Lewis's, shout out to you from Lurking Corpses, they take charge. They want their scene to change, and they're pushing that. But if there's not more people willing to be like, oh, we're the problem in music. There's only shitty bands that come to town. It's because you don't go see bands. Or if your friend says, hey, man, you want to come to my show? Oh, yeah, sure, I'll be there, dude. And then you look, and then they're in the crowd, but they're on their phone the whole time and didn't really see your show, and you try to interact. What did you think? Yeah, it was all right. It was good. I enjoyed it. I had fun. It's like modern technology being so interconnected is killing it. It's killing it.
Back to my last show, and speaking on what you're talking about, that was before everybody was super... Like, before phones were really that good that we could stay that connected.
It was barely smartphones
No,
at that time.
I was looking at the crowd, and everybody was paying attention.
But they were just sitting.
They were just sitting there. They were sitting there. They weren't banging their heads. I mean, there may have been a few nods here and there, but it's like...
You just feel like they're respectfully listening to you.
And I mean, that's cool and all, but I know this crowd of people, and then Threat Level goes up there.
And they go nuts.
And it's badass. Narrow House goes up there. It's nuts. They're badass. But which, for the record, like Catacresis, I think I've spoke about it on Voice of Survival. We were a prog band, basically. Not a lot there to move around to. But that night, we had been working on songs for that night that were like songs that you can mosh to, songs you can move around to, and nothing. I was telling people, I was like, I can't wait for you guys to hear this song. I can't wait for you guys to hear this song. It's badass. I want you guys moshing. I want you guys banging your heads. It's badass. And I got nothing.
You got blue-balled.
Yeah.
And now, did you know when you got off stage that was it?
No.
So you were you wanted to be on cloud nine because you did play to a large audience of people, but there was not enough interaction for you to, what's the word I'm looking for, really thrive and feed on that.
2 months later, I got my job at Subaru, and then I found out I was on night shift and couldn't work Friday, or I couldn't play shows on Friday nights. And I told the band, hey, I can't remember if we already had the 2 shows booked or if they booked it after. I told them, hey, I work night shift now. I can't get it off. I can't remember if they booked it after I got Subaru or before I got Subaru, but either way, the next 2 shows, one of which got canceled and the other I didn't play. Both of them were Fridays. Those were our last 2 shows.
Their last shows.
Their last shows, yeah. But yeah, that's my worst show experience in the sense that I put forth my best effort and got nothing in return.
That's like to the T why it hurt so bad for us too.
Yeah.
You feel it, man, because you put work in, and it's hours and blood and sweat, and that's, the music scene is not just, these guys show up and they play music and it's so easy. There's hours and hours and months and years of time and dedication where you're slaving away at your craft to show people, like, here, check out this thing. And when you don't get recognized at all, it's just like, it's like a fucking death blow, But let's flip the script and because let's not end this on a low note. Let's talk about what you want to do with this show in 2018.
What I want to do, so there's been talk of us moving off of Podbean and getting our own hosting ourselves.
Yeah.
And with that comes each podcast getting its own feed. So I won't be able to piggyback off the Journey into Comics name anymore.
Shut up.
Any more than it just being associated. So I'm going to have to build my own audience and and maintain that audience. So therefore, I'm going to have to up my game. So my goal is to obviously do that.
To obviously up my game, okay.
And that's where the whole Twitch streaming comes in. That's where streaming to Facebook and YouTube and wherever else I can. That's where that comes in because I want to. That being said, I need to create a schedule. But the thing is, my podcast, it doesn't have a schedule because I don't know when I can get guests, and I don't want my podcast who's coming on based off of what day I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I want that. So therefore, I want to be able to create as much content as I can. Being on my own feed, I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to post like every day if I want to, in which I'll be able to live stream everything, and I'll be able to be like, hey, I'm going to be on at this time. Will I have a guest? I don't know, but you'll see me.
You'll be like, there's some guy who I watched who does this like crazy live stream show. He's got like a background and all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like he did like this interview. It was weird. You know him. He said something to you about doing his podcast. It'll hit you recently. You actually, I think, met him.
Oh
through.
yeah. I need to get back to him.
You're like, oh,
I told him I'd get back to him at the beginning of the year. So
you got time.
Yeah, I got
Couple
time.
more days here.
I definitely want to. This is where the anxiety comes in, because this is how much it affects me. I want to guest on his show first before I have him on mine.
So you can feel it out.
Yeah, so I can feel him out.
Man, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So my goals are just to, improve my setup, which I've done quite a bit lately. I don't know. I don't know if I want to bring on like an official co-host, which if I do, it's probably definitely going to be Tyler McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Throw up the tie signal.
Throw up the tie signal. I need you. Need you, my boy.
That's his theme music, I guess. I don't know why I just did that, but that was what it was. But
so basically just increasing content.
Okay, I love that.
I want to have content. I want to probably start my own Patreon. Have merch. I showed you some pins that my girlfriend, for a Christmas present, she was gonna get me all these pins, like a handful of these pins of my podcast logo, and they looked awesome. But she could only order them in like orders of 100. And I was like, well, shit, do that.
Yeah, you could have some for sale,
do
some
that.
for swag.
And they look badass, but unfortunately, like, no one really knows me, so like there's not a demand for that stuff yet. So I'd be able to be like, hey, friend number 1, hey, friend number 7 or 8, buy this pen from me.
I love that you just numbered your friends. I've got friends number 1, number 7, and 8.
I just wanted to,
Fuck
skip
you, 2 through 6.
I wanted to skip around and, show. Obviously, I have a lot of friends, but like, am I going to be like, hey, everybody buy this now?
Yeah,
and am I going to get it? Am I going to get them to buy it? But that's just the modesty in me, and me like undercutting myself or selling myself short, I guess.
You're a great podcaster and a poor businessman. That's what you're telling me right now.
Terrible businessman. That'll improve over time, or I'll just hire somebody to do it for me.
It's funny because you were like, look at these cool pens, and I'm like, oh, for this price you can make this much money off of that. That's what you should do. And you're like, eh.
I straight up told you, I was like, well, I was gonna sell it for this much, but
okay,
I feel like, because you said $10.
Yeah, that's super reasonable for an enamel pen.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a fucking 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch or something super microscopic.
Yeah.
You got to think, when we saw Doyle of the Misfits in April, we spent $15 on like a 2-inch enamel pen.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? So your pen looked dope and is super visible. Mm-hmm. I would support that.
Yeah.
$5, $10, it doesn't matter.
Doyle has demand behind his name.
Yeah, but you can create demand.
Oh, yeah, and that's the plan.
That's the trick.
That's the plan.
You create the demand
but
by way of...
For the beginning, I suggested $5.
Yeah.
At $2.83 a pen, $5. I'm making some profit there, and I can actually, I feel like that's reasonable for how much demand I have, which is little to none amongst the wide audience, amongst my friends. Cool, they'll be like, hell yeah, I'll buy that off of you.
Well, and the wide audience, I think that we're cusping right now. We're like on the cusp, because if is a huge letter IF, right? If this Podbean feature goes really well for us, everything else will do itself. Like what you're worried about, you don't have to be. It'll be fine. Like everything will be cool. It's all in the adjusting of the future. One thing I know that I'm stoked for the future of this network is like if we do eventually get to go full RSS for everybody, like literally the way that'll work is we'll import all the old episodes too. So it will be your entire catalog of Podcastrophe, not just from when we went to individual RSSs. So you can create new fans who listen from the beginning and they find you organically and so on and so forth, which in turn still makes the network thrive.
Yeah.
See, you think I don't think, but I think.
I think you think too, pal. No, that's why I love that I work with Brandon.
You get to hear all the ideas.
I get to hear all of his ideas.
Sometimes before I do.
Yeah.
You're a stand-in Nate.
It's really great because, it gives me ideas, and it's not that I don't steal the ideas, and I don't I get excited about these ideas because I can feel his excitement, and it's part of the network that I'm on, and I just love hearing about it. Even if it's for like Journey into Wrestling,
Yeah.
which I don't even listen to. I've never listened to an episode of Journey into Wrestling.
It'd be interesting to hear you remark upon what you think of that show.
I don't-
considering you don't know anything about wrestling.
I know shit about wrestling, okay?
Okay.
However, it's not relevant to my life.
Correct.
It hasn't been since I was much younger. Every now and then, I'll like a couple buddies of mine, like Matt. He's a huge wrestling fan. He went to WrestleMania in Texas. He says it was a shit show. Oh shit!
That's my stare down to Matt Wilcox for going to. Even though, you know what, literally WrestleMania 32 was a shit show, and I would be super grateful that I didn't go. So
He was actually on the floor.
Oh.
He was on the floor, and he's like, I couldn't see anything because everybody was either had a sign up in the air or standing on their seats or anything like that. So he's like, I couldn't see.
You're just standing there going,
So
well,
he's like-
I paid $400 for these WrestleMania tickets to stare at the back of someone's head.
He said he spent like thousands.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
I'm like, geez. I couldn't do it.
My thing is, as far as wrestling is concerned, not to super tangent here, but if you're gonna pay for WrestleMania tickets and if they're on the floor, if they're not at the very, very front, don't buy them.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see a fucking thing, or you're gonna spend the whole night doing this. I'm watching it on the big screen.
Yeah, he said he couldn't even see the big screen.
I could be at home, drunk
Doing
off
this.
my ass, getting a blowy, but nope, staring at this big fucking screen
When everything's 30 feet in front of me.
right in front of me.
No, he said he couldn't even see
I would be
the screen.
furious.
Oh, yeah. But no, like, so like the only time wrestling is ever relevant is if like a friend like orders Survivor Series or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble on and they just invite a bunch of people over, and I'm one of them.
know you're wrestling.
I used to watch it.
Hey.
I'm getting an Ultimate Warrior tattoo. I have an Ultimate Warrior pop vinyl right here.
He was one of my favorites.
I have you know Fig Pens?
No. Yes, Fig Pens, yes.
I just got an Ultimate Warrior Fig Pen.
He's like doing this.
No, he's actually doing like the
Oh, it's the okay.
it's the pose you see him in like every t-shirt. But yeah, I got that, and it's on my pin hat. You've seen?
Oh, your pin hat's dope.
Which
Has
yeah,
my
there's a Walk Among Us pin on there.
Yeah, there is. That's fucking grooving.
But yeah, so that's like as relevant as wrestling gets for me. I used to watch it as a kid, like during the Attitude Era, slightly into when John Cena moved in and all that. I think 05 and up, I kind of started
Phasing out.
Like Eddie Guerrero died and stuff, and
Dude, I saw his second to last match with Brando, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, we went to SmackDown in 2005, a week before he died, and it was him. It was Eddie versus Batista versus Randy Orton in a triple threat
Wow.
match. For the title, Batista was champ. Batista bombed Randy Orton for the pin, and then after the match, Batista and Eddie danced around the whole ring and just like
That's
threw
amazing.
a little party. Yeah, it was crazy awesome. And then like a week later, he was dead.
Yeah,
Fucking weird.
I remember that was November 12th or 13th.
Yes, it was November 12th. Very good.
I remember I had a really bad weekend, so I remember that.
Man, great memory.
Not
that
for
you-
me.
Sad that you remember whatever it is that traumatized you.
Yeah, it was
but-
bad. And then, as tragic as it was, the Chris Benoit thing.
Whoa, super fucked up.
Yeah,
but,
super fucked up, but I love.
are you going to talk about the worst meme?
They're the worst memes of
meme
all
ever?
time. Hey,
They were supposed to tap.
they were supposed to tap Father of the Year or Happy Father's Day. Oh, wait.
Man. Did you say 08 or
Oh,
08?
oh wait.
08.
Oh wait.
It's crazy because I watch wrestling matches from Chris Benoit's career now.
He was such a
and
great wrestler and such a great personality.
phenomenal, but every time he takes a bump where his head hits something, I'm like, that is the start, or that is it getting worse, or that is it going to the extreme, or what have you. So, but I've tangented your show into wrestling long enough.
That's fine. That's fine. What were we talking about?
We were just riffing about like the network and the future of your show.
Speaking of Journey into Wrestling, I have a friend, and he's a bartender at my local watering hole, The Vault.
Yeah.
He would love. He told me, he's like, I would love to go on your show and talk about wrestling and stuff. And I'm like, actually, there's a show on our network dedicated to that, and I think you would be great for it. His name's Brandon Edging. I don't know if he has Skype or anything like that, but you could probably Skype him in.
Make it happen. Just get him to our shit so he can find out if he likes us, and if he does, we'll talk.
Brandon, if you're watching or listening, hit up Nate Phillips.
Other Brandon, not my Brandon, not Stone. Sorry, my eye itches like fuck right now. That was crazy.
But yeah, and I'd love to have him on my show too. He's a character. And I love going down to the vault and visiting all those guys. My former drummer in Drench, he's a bartender there.
Hell yeah!
And it's the bartenders and staff there are always A1.
You know what this recording this today means for you though, right?
What's that?
You have to immediately upload this and get it to me so it can go up tomorrow. Holy shit! I was just like, oh my god, I have to edit a podcast tonight.
And you know what? You know what's great about this?
What?
Having you on this?
What?
You can come up with your own damn description for it.
I guess you're right. We can talk about...
I struggle with coming up with descriptions.
You know why? Because, like, the one thing that I've learned... Because what I was going to say is the reason you struggle with descriptions is because it's actually like an art form.
It is.
Thinking about how to describe what you talked about with your friend in the moment where there's some interesting stuff happening. And you know what I typically think is, write whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. People are going to tune in. They might read the description and go, oh, that's kind of what this show is about. Or it might have, very little to do with it. I have fun with it, and just don't really care that much. Makes it easier.
Yeah. I think we're getting close to the end here. We're going to wrap it up. I got places to be.
Yeah, and podcast to edit.
And a podcast to edit real quick. On the fly real quick. Are there any final thoughts you have? Anything you want to say to my audience that's your audience?
I love that it's been 13 episodes since I've been on Podcastrophe.
Yeah?
No, because I was on episode 7. This house is bitching. So it's only been 10 episodes.
That was podcast day, right?
Podcast day, yeah, the podcast extravaganza. That was crazy.
That was.
No, to talk to listen, people, there's a whole network of fucking dope shows. If you're listening to Podcastrophe, it's not the only show on the network. You get a bumper for Voice of Survival or butt stuff on this show, and then you've got all these other great shows. Monday through Sunday, there's a show on the network. Listen to our shit, because while our shows aren't necessarily interconnected or crossing over consistently, we are a bigger family, and it's like... You can join our family and listen to what we all are talking about and get insight to what we're up to. It's like our own Rooster Teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Except for we're the Journey into Comics Network. And it's because I love all my friends and want them to have fun talking about the shit they like. Yeah, that's all I have.
And I like talking about whatever the fuck my guests want to talk about. Yup. And, Nick Maxon... He told me the other day, he's like, I love how open you are about watching 4K porn.
And VR porn.
I have yet to do VR.
Oh.
I have yet to do VR. That's the next step.
That's the next logical step.
It's for you to be logical step.
Fully immersed. My question is this, okay, so are you I'm going to we're getting personal here for a second, but
go for it.
Are you going to town on yourself watching the VR porn, or is the thing listen, honey, we're going to try to kink up the bedroom a little bit tonight. I'm going to put the headset on and you're going to go to town.
I never thought of that. I may have to
conspire.
I don't know. Awesome. I feel like that'd be so weird not being able to
actually see her, but getting all the sensations of the thing you're watching.
I was gonna go more for the solo mode.
Yeah, but
that's such an part of the experience. I guess is out of the corner, out of your peripherals, seeing yourself doing the act. So it's not being able to see yourself and only being able to watch the porn.
But also another thing to think about, you have roommates.
I do.
Okay, so you're in the town going spanky spank on yourself with a headset on, and they're just staring at you, just what the?
They just come in and
you're just going crazy or whatever.
Oh man,
VR porn, weird.
VR porn, weird.
Weird.
That's the next step. I definitely want to experience it for sure. 4K has been cool and all, but
that was a Christmas topic, by the way.
Yeah,
Veronica's mom brought up 4K, or not 4K, but the VR porn, because she tried it out, And she was like, it's so weird. It's weird.
Like, obviously, I would assume it was like, what's it called? It's where you're looking through the eyes.
POV.
POV, yes.
Point of view.
Yeah, point of view. I remember. Like if you're not watching a POV VR porn, like what's the point? It's just a screen
porn?
It's just other than that, it's just a screen that's really close to your face.
Yes. It's super close to my eyes.
And you're just depriving yourself of all the other senses.
Burning my retinas.
Yes.
We're going to get out of here.
We're going to get out of here.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening. This is Dick.
This is Nate.
That's Nate.
Yeah, that's me.
We're on the Journey into Comics Network. Please subscribe. Please hit our Patreon up for $1 or $3. You'll get some early access or some exclusive content or both.
Yeah. Or future stuff coming.
Yeah. Subscribe to us on Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, many other places. You'll get a ton of podcasts. This has been Dick. Please make every day a big dick day.